Hello everyone, this is Dr. Captain K. Sujata, Professor of Mathematics, St. Joseph's College for Women, Autonomous, Visakhapatnam. In this session, I am going to discuss characteristic values and characteristic vectors of a square matrix and a linear operator. These are my details. After this session, if any doubts, you can contact through my email ID. Course outcomes. After successful completion of this course, the student will be able to know and apply the principles of linear algebra, know vocabulary, notation and operations for matrices and vectors. Find the characteristic equation and eigenvalues and eigenvectors of the matrix. This is the introduction. In this chapter or in this session, we discuss the important notions of characteristic values and characteristic vectors of a linear operator on a finite dimensional vector space and a square matrix defined over a field. Now coming to the characteristic vector and characteristic value of a linear operator. How to define characteristic vector and characteristic value of a linear operator. Let T be a linear operator on a finite dimensional vector space V of F. Always we have to consider the vector space is a finite dimensional vector space over the field F. And T is a linear operator. A non-zero vector, for every non-zero vector, that is alpha, belongs to the finite dimensional vector space V, is called the characteristic, that non-zero vector we call it as a characteristic vector of T. T means a linear operator if. So for every alpha belongs to V, if there exists a scalar C, such that T of alpha is equal to C alpha. T of alpha is equal to C alpha. That alpha satisfies this equation. T of alpha is equal to C alpha, right? So for every C, we will get one equation, that is T of alpha is equal to C alpha. For every scalar satisfies this equation, right? Now here each such a non-zero vector is called the characteristic vector of T. Corresponding to the characteristic value is C. So C is the characteristic value and alpha is the characteristic vector of linear operator T. Sometimes we will write it as T of alpha as just T into alpha simply. The scalar C is called as characteristic value of T. Corresponding, so for every scalar, there exists a characteristic vector alpha. This is under linear operator. Coming to the next definition, characteristic vector and characteristic value of a matrix. Now previous slide we discussed on a linear operator, whereas this is under the matrix. Any non-zero vector X is called to be a characteristic vector of a square matrix A if there exists a scalar lambda such that, almost similar to the previous definition only, scalar lambda such that Ax is equal to lambda x. Whereas in the previous under the linear operator, there we are having T of alpha is equal to C into alpha. There alpha is a characteristic vector and C is a characteristic value. Whereas here X is a characteristic vector and lambda is a characteristic value. Here A can be written as, A is an n-rowed square matrix, can be written as n by n matrix, and X can be written as n by 1 matrix. The X is always a characteristic vector that is in the form of the column matrix. Whatever that we have taken in the matrix A, here the order is n. So same order we have to take here n by 1 column, that is n rows and 1 column. That is about the characteristic vector, right? Then after that, lambda is said to be a characteristic value here. Here lambda we call it as a characteristic value, whereas X we call it as a characteristic vector. So lambda is said to be a characteristic value of a matrix A. So for every lambda, there exists a characteristic vector X corresponding to the characteristic vector X. Also X is said to be a characteristic vector corresponding to the characteristic value lambda of the matrix A. This is a vice versa. If there exists if lambda is the characteristic value, if it is exist, then using the characteristic value, we can find out the characteristic vector. Then from the characteristic vector, we will get the corresponding characteristic value of a square matrix A. Now coming to the definitions of characteristic matrix, characteristic polynomial, characteristic equation. Now for coming to the characteristic matrix. What is a characteristic matrix? First of all, we have to consider one square matrix. That square matrix order is n. If we take the square matrix order is n and it is denoted as capital A is equal to Aij n by n like this. Capital A is equal to Aij n by n. Be any n-rowed square matrix. We call it as this is n by n-rowed square matrix and lambda an indeterminate. The matrix A minus lambda I is called the characteristic matrix of A, where I is a unit matrix of order n. Where I is a unit matrix of order, whatever the order of A, same order for I also. I we call it as a unit matrix. For example, suppose if we take the order of the matrix, square matrix as 3, then the unit matrix I is also 3, which is in the form of 1 0 0 0. First row is 1 0 0, second row is 0 0 1, and third row is second row is 0 1 0, third row is 0 0 1. Right? So that is about the unit matrix of order 3. In the same way, we can define for the order n also. So what else here? Finally, characteristic matrix is A minus lambda I. Now after that, using the characteristic matrix, we can define characteristic polynomial. In the characteristic polynomial also, we have to define the, first of all, we have to take a square matrix, n-rowed square matrix, A is equal to Aij n by n. Using that, construct the characteristic matrix, that is A minus lambda I. So for that characteristic matrix, just take the determinant. Means determinant of A minus lambda I is called characteristic polynomial in lambda of degree n of A. Of degree n. So because the order of A is n, so automatically polynomial degree is also n of the square matrix A. Now coming to the characteristic equation, similar to the character, so for defining the characteristic equation, we will use a characteristic polynomial. If we equate characteristic polynomial to 0, then we will get the characteristic equation by taking A is equal to n by n square matrix. Then therefore, determinant of A minus lambda I is equal to 0 is the characteristic equation of A of degree n. Here also degree n, because A is of order n. So characteristic equation are also degree n. In terms of the lambda equation, we will get in terms of the lambda of the square matrix A. Right? Whereas here lambda is, we call it as a characteristic value. So next we are going to define characteristic root. Now here these are the examples of characteristic polynomial, and how to get the characteristic polynomial means of the given matrix 3 by 3 matrix A. This is a given matrix A. Using that, what is the characteristic polynomial formula? Determinant of A minus lambda I. So construct A minus lambda I. I is also in the order is 3 by 3. That is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. If we multiply with the lambda, what will get? Lambda 0 0 0 lambda 0 0 0 lambda. Subtract from A. So we'll get, this is the determinant. Now expansion of this determinant, we'll get the third degree polynomial because A is a 3 by 3. So polynomial also will get in the form of degree 3 in lambda, in the lambda of A, of the matrix A. Right? So if we equate this polynomial as 0, we will get the characteristic equation. No, it is equate to 0, no? So we can multiply with the minus here. So finally we will get the characteristic equation of A of degree 3 in terms of the lambda. This is the equation. Now coming to the definition, main definitions of characteristic roots and characteristic vectors of a square matrix. The roots of determinant of A minus lambda I means the roots of characteristic equation are called characteristic roots. Another name is characteristic vectors, or we can call eigenvalues, latent roots, and proper values. of a square matrix A. So how to get the characteristic roots? After first of all, we have to take the characteristic polynomial. From that, find out the characteristic equation. So after getting the characteristic equation, so from that equation, find out the roots. That roots, we call it as a characteristic roots. Suppose if it is a characteristic, suppose A, the matrix, square matrix A is in the form of 3 by 3, that is order 3. Then the characteristic equation also we will get the degree 3 in lambda. Then finally characteristic roots are also will get only 3 roots in terms of the lambda values. That is, in terms of the lambda, we'll get the 3 roots of lambda. Lambda values will get 3. Right? Then using the characteristic roots, we can find out the characteristic vectors. We can find out the characteristic vectors. How to get the characteristic vectors? If lambda is a characteristic root of an n by n square matrix A, then a non-zero matrix X, always X is a non-zero matrix such that Ax is equal to lambda X. That X should satisfy the equation Ax is equal to lambda X. From this, we'll get the characteristic vector. If we substitute lambda value, that is a characteristic root in this, we'll get the X value. After the simplify this equation, we'll get the X value. Is called, that X is called the characteristic vector or eigenvector of A corresponding to the characteristic root lambda. Next, coming to the first theorem. This is this theorem is on characteristic root. Characteristic root. So see the statement: a scalar lambda is a characteristic root of a square matrix if and only if this is a characteristic root of the square matrix, then automatically the automatic determinant of A minus lambda is equal to 0, means lambda satisfies a characteristic equation. This is nothing but the characteristic equation now. So lambda satisfies a characteristic equation. Determinant of A minus lambda is equal to 0. And moreover, this is a if and only if condition. So we have to apply both the ways. That is, first assume, first part, that is take the scalar lambda is a characteristic root of a square matrix A. Then prove that determinant of A minus lambda is equal to 0. Right? After that, take assume this and lambda, prove that it is a characteristic root of the square matrix. Now assume first part, that is, if lambda is a characteristic root and X is a corresponding, whenever if we get the characteristic root, immediately we will get the characteristic one non-zero vector, that is a characteristic vector corresponding to this lambda. So is the X a corresponding characteristic vector of a matrix A, square matrix A. Then we have, from the definition of the characteristic vector, Ax is equal to lambda X is always true. X satisfies this equation. Ax is equal to lambda X. Now for lambda X, here we are writing lambda Ix, because I is a unit matrix. We can insert I in between lambda and X. The value will not be changed. So after that, take Ax is equal to lambda Ix. Out of these two, take X common. If we take out X common, what will get? A minus lambda I into X is equal to 0. Since X is not equal to 0, we know always X is a non-zero vector. So that's why X is not equal to 0. Then A minus lambda I becomes a singular. Right? That is, singular means determinant of A minus lambda is equal to 0. Thus, every square characteristic root lambda of a square matrix A is a root of its characteristic equation. Determinant of A minus lambda is equal to 0. Right? Now, conversely, if lambda is any root of determinant of A minus lambda is equal to 0, then the matrix equation. So if it is a root of this one, then immediately we can take the matrix equation. A minus, this is always matrix equation. A minus lambda I into X. A minus lambda I into X is equal to 0. Right? This is a matrix equation. Starting we define. So necessarily this matrix equation compulsory it possesses a non-zero solution capital X, so that there exists a vector X is not equal to 0, non-zero vector such that Ax is equal to lambda Ix, which can be written as lambda X. Right? So for every lambda there exists a non-zero vector that is a characteristic vector. Thus, every root of the characteristic equation of a matrix is is a characteristic root of the matrix. Characteristic root of the equation, that is the determinant of a minus lambda is equal to 0. Now coming to the here some note I have given. What is that? If A be n root square matrix, then the characteristic equation a minus lambda is equal to 0 is of because A is a n root, no? So is of nth degree polynomial. This is nothing but nth degree polynomial in lambda. If we equate polynomial to 0, then we'll get the characteristic equation, right? So that every n root square matrix possesses n characteristic roots, possesses always, if it is a order is n, a order is n, then always the that characteristic polynomial contains n roots, n characteristic roots, right? That is roots means characteristic roots. These n roots may not all be distinct. They are not distinct. Sometimes it will be, say, there will be some repetition also will be there, right? Now coming to the second theorem, prove that the characteristic vectors corresponding to distinct characteristic roots of a matrix are linearly independent. Means what we want to show, take the set of some characteristic vectors, some m characteristic vectors, let it be. So we want to prove that those m characteristic vectors are linearly independent. So for proving m characteristic vectors are linearly independent, we want to prove that independent, no? Whenever if we want to prove independent, so two ways. First of all, we have to assume the linear combination of the respective those vectors is equal to 0 bar, then prove that each scalar equal to 0. That is a one way. No, another way is if we take a character, so we want to prove it is independent, no? So contrapositive method means take the negative. So means it is not a, they are not linearly independent, assume. If they are not linearly independent, automatically they are dependent. If they are dependent, then we'll get a contradiction. Finally, they are independent. We can prove like that. Okay. So we will use the second method, second process. So assume that they are not independent. Okay. Now coming to, let's first of all take x1, x2, xm are, xm be the characteristic vectors of a square matrix corresponding to distinct. Whenever if we get the characteristic vectors, immediately we can take the characteristic roots. Lambda 1, here m characteristic vectors we are taken. So m roots. So automatically we should take, we must take m roots only. Lambda 1, lambda 2 and so on, lambda m. Right? Now from this we can write down the characteristic equation. That is using the characteristic vector we can write down the equation. That is AXI. It's not a characteristic equation. From the characteristic vector we can write down the equation AXI is equal to lambda I xi. AXI is equal to, that is from that AX is equal to lambda x, no? That is only for one characteristic vector. Whereas here m characteristic vectors we are taken and m characteristic roots we are taken. Using that we will get the equation as AXI is equal to lambda I xi. For I is equal to, this is small I, for I is equal to 1 to m. Now prove that x1, x2 and so on xm are linearly independent. Suppose, so assume that up to m minus 1 vectors, are linearly independent. Up to m, that is we are assuming up to m minus 1 vectors are linearly independent. Now total vectors, assume that they are dependent. Total vectors are dependent. If they are dependent, immediately we can take the scalar. There exists at least some non-zero scalars such that the linear combination of the respective vectors is equal to 0. This is a definition of the linearly dependent. Then after that we are going to operate with A. That is we are going to multiply the matrix A on both sides. Right? So here A1, A2, Am are scalars, no? So we can write down outside, no, they are operating A with the vectors only. AX1, AX2 and so on, AXM minus 1 plus AXM is equal to A0 means 0 matrix. Right? Then after that AX1 is replaced by, from the given condition we assume, no, from the characteristic vector. What we assumed here, AXI is equal to lambda I xi. From that AX1 is equal to lambda 1 x1. AX2 is equal to lambda 2 x2. Like that AXM is equal to lambda m xm. So substitute those values here. So what will get, lambda 1 x1, lambda 2 x2 and so on, lambda m minus 1 xm minus 1. Here lambda m xm is equal to 0. Let it be, this is a equation 2, and the first initial linear combination, let it be equation 1. Now, after that, we are going to multiply first equation with lambda m, with the characteristic root lambda m. First equation we are going to multiply with a lambda m. After that, that equation we are going to subtract second equation after multiplication of with the lambda m of first equation, right? So those two we have to subtract these two. This is the equation multiplied the lambda m with first equation. We will get this equation. We will get this equation. This is already we got second equation. Now subtract 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2. Subtract 3 and 2 means 3 minus 2 you apply. So subtract what we'll get 2 minus 3 we did here. 2 minus 3. Right. So we did this one. Right. So from this 3 minus 2 also we can do it. No problem. Then see here this is in the form of linear combination of finite number of elements of the vectors x1, x2 and so on xm minus 1. Whereas our assumption is, what is our assumption? Whereas our assumption is up to xm minus 1 are linearly independent. x1, x2 and so on xm minus 1 are linearly independent. Now here also we got this is up to xn, what we got it x1, x2, xm minus 1. Up to this, these are the linearly independent. Our assumption is x1, x2 and so on xm minus 1 are linearly independent. Moreover, what we got it, their linear combination equal to 0 matrix we got it, 0 bar. This is a vector. This becomes a vector because these are all vectors. No, these are the vectors. So it becomes a vector. Suppose if it is in the form of the matrices, we'll get this is a matrix, right? So linear combination we got 0 bar, and moreover x1, x2, xm minus 1 are linearly independent, means each scalar equal to 0, means up to here they are zeros. Each scalar, that is a1 into lambda 1 minus lambda m becomes 0, and a2 this one is 0, this one is 0. But lambda 1 minus lambda m cannot be equal to 0. This product, this one, because all the lambda 1, lambda 2 are distinct characteristic roots. So these two cannot be equal to 0. And also cannot be equal to 0 means they are distinct characteristic vectors. No, they are not equal. So that's why here finally a1 is equal to 0, a2 is equal to 0 and so on, am is equal to am minus 1 is equal to 0. Now substitute these values in equation 1. What is equation 1, Ra? This is equation 1. Substitute up to scalars values a1, a2 and so on, a minus 1 values becomes a 0. No, means we'll get up to this value will be vanished. So remaining term is am into xm is equal to 0. This is a remaining term. Again, xm is not equal to 0, so that am is equal to 0. So we got all the scalars becomes 0. But our assumption is capital X1, comma X2 and so on xm are linearly dependent, which is a contradiction. That's why due to our assumption that this is our assumption, that's why we got a contradiction. Therefore, all the given vectors are m vectors are linearly independent. Hence, the characteristic vectors corresponding to distinct characteristic roots of a matrix are linearly independent. Now coming to the conclusion, what we have discussed in this session, definitions of, in this session we discussed the following definitions. Now what are the definitions? Characteristic matrix, characteristic polynomial, characteristic equation, characteristic root, and some characteristic vector, and also some theorems on characteristic root and characteristic vector of a square matrix. Last two theorems. Okay, thank you. And the next session we will start remaining problems on characteristic vectors and characteristic roots.